Hello, myself Dr. Sudha from Government Science College, Autonomous, Bangalore. In this session, we are going to study Euler's equation. Euler's equation or Lagrange's equation is today's learning objective. So we need understanding of the functional, which was taught in the previous session, variation of a function, properties of variation, as well as what is a variational problem. So let us begin with the history of this Lagrange equation. The Euler-Lagrange equation was developed in 1750 by Swiss mathematician Leonhard Euler and Italian mathematician Joseph Louis Lagrange. So this is Euler and this is Lagrange, Joseph Louis Lagrange. Finding the extrema of functionals is similar to finding the maxima and minima of a function which may be located by finding the points where its derivative vanishes. That is, its derivative is equal to 0. The extrema of functionals may be obtained by finding functions where the functional derivative is equal to 0. This leads to solving Euler-Lagrange equation. Euler-Lagrange equation is useful for solving optimization problems in which, given some functional, one seeks the function minimizing or maximizing it. The Euler-Lagrange equation was developed in 1750 by Euler and Lagrange in connection with their studies of tau-chron problem. Tau means same and chrono means time. This is the problem of determining a curve on which a weighed particle will fall to a fixed point in a fixed amount of time independent of the starting point. Lagrange solved this problem, that is the tau-chron problem, in 1755 and sent the solution to Euler. Both further developed Lagrange's method and applied it to mechanics, which led to formation of Lagrangian mechanics. Their correspondence ultimately led to calculus of variations, and this term was given by Euler himself in 1766. Now let us begin with the Euler equation. Let us state this Euler equation. The necessary and the sufficient condition for the integral I of y equal to integral x1 to x2 f of x comma y dash dx, where y of x1 is equal to y1 and y of x2 is equal to y2 to be an extremum is that dou f by dou y minus d by dx of dou f by dou y dash equal to 0. So this is the statement of Euler's equation. Now let us prove this Euler's equation. For this, let us take the curve y is equal to y of x, which passes through the points P of x1, y1 and Q of x2, y2 to make I an extremum. So let us take y is equal to y of x plus h into alpha of x, and let us call this as equation 1. And this equation, that is, we are adding a small quantity, that is h into alpha of x, and this will be the neighboring curve joining the same points P of x1, y1 and Q of x2, y2, such that alpha of x1 will be 0 at the point P and alpha of x2 is equal to 0 at Q. Because when we substitute x is equal to x1, h into alpha of x1 will become 0 and we get y is equal to y of x1, and that is also a point on the curve y is equal to y of x. Similarly, when we substitute x is equal to x2, alpha of x2 is equal to 0. Therefore, we get y is equal to y of x2, and that is also a point on the curve y is equal to y of x. And this is the curve which we have taken, that is y of x, and this is the curve y of x plus h into alpha of x. We can see that at x is equal to x1, both the curves meet at P, and x is equal to x2, both the curves meet at Q. If h is equal to 0, that is in equation 1, if I put h is equal to 0, this second term becomes 0 and we get y is equal to y of x, then the two curves coincide to make I an extremum. That is, I of y is equal to integral x1 to x2 f of x comma y of x plus h into alpha of x. That is, we are replacing y of x by y of x plus h into alpha of x, that is the neighboring curve, and y dash is replaced by y dash of x plus h into alpha dash of x into dx is an extremum when h is equal to 0. Now let us find the derivative of I with respect to h, and that will be equal to 0 when h is equal to 0. Why? Because we are treating I to be a function of h. Now let us use Leibniz rule for differentiation under the integral sign. So here we are going to differentiate I with respect to h. So we are differentiating this integral with respect to h using this Leibniz rule for differentiation under the integral sign. So we get di by dh is equal to integral x1 to x2 d by dh of the integrand, that is f of x comma y of x plus h into alpha of x comma y dash of x plus h into alpha dash of x into dx. Now let us apply the chain rule within the integrand. So we get di by dh is equal to f was a function of x, y and y dash. So first you differentiate f with respect to x and then x with respect to h. So dou f by dou x into dou x by dou h plus dou f by dou y into dou y by dou h plus dou f by dou y dash into dou y dash by dou h into dx. Call this expression 3. Now, x is independent of h. Therefore, dou x by dou h is equal to 0. Since dou x by dou y is equal to 0, so the first term over here becomes 0. Now we need this second expression to be simplified. So let us take equation 1 and differentiate. Equation 1 was y is equal to y of x plus h into alpha of x. So we are differentiating that to obtain y dash. Y dash will be equal to y dash of x plus h into alpha dash of x. Also, dou y by dou h was equal to alpha of x and dou y dash by dou h is equal to alpha dash of x. This is obtained from 1 and 4. So using these in 3, we get di by dh is equal to integral x1 to x2 dou f by dou y into alpha of x plus dou f by dou y dash into alpha dash of x into dx. Now let us integrate these two terms with respect to x, that is x. So let us integrate term by term. So the first integral will be integral x1 to x2 dou f by dou y into alpha x dx. You retain this integral as it is. Now let us integrate the second term here using integration by parts. So let us take dou f by dou y dash as the first function and alpha dash x as the second function. So by integration by parts, we get the first function dou f by dou y dash into integral of the second function. So when we integrate alpha dash of x with respect to x, we get alpha x. So between the limits x1 to x2 minus integral x1 to x2 integral of the second function, that is alpha x, into derivative of the first function, that is d by dx of dou f by dou y dash into dx. Now in this second term, the integration is over. So let us apply the limits. When you apply the limits, you're going to get, we have retained the first function as it is, and here we have applied the limits. The upper limit is x is equal to x2 and the lower limit is x is equal to x1. So we get dou f by dou y dash into alpha of x2 minus dou f by dou y dash into alpha of x1. But in the beginning we have seen that alpha of x1 and alpha of x2 are both equal to 0. Therefore, this entire term within the flower brackets becomes 0 and we are left with the first term and this last term. And when you see the first term and the last term, both contain alpha of x. So you can remove that alpha of x common. So when I remove that alpha of x common, I get integral x1 to x2 alpha of x into dou f by dou y minus d by dx of dou f by dou y dash into dx. But what we know is di by dh is equal to 0 when h is equal to 0 for I to be an extremum. So when I put di by dh is equal to 0, that means the integral is 0. That implies the integrand is equal to 0 because alpha of x is an arbitrary function. Therefore, we get dou f by dou y minus d by dx of dou f by dou y dash equal to 0. And this is Euler's equation, or it is also known as Euler-Lagrange equation. Hope everybody followed the derivation of Euler equation. So this Euler equation is very important for the study of calculus of variation.